Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with the instant match reaction. Newcastle United 2, Wolverhampton Wanderers 1. It might not be a game we deserve to win, but we're quite happy that we did win. We're going to get stuck into this. It'll be a quick one tonight because I know time is ticking on. You've all got plans. I've got plans. Everyone's got plans. But we're going to talk a little bit about this football game and just what it was like for us, really. Probably one real quality moment that's just stole the show today, which we'll get stuck right into in a minute. Before we do, a little reminder to you all, if you're just checking us out for the first time, hello, smash that button, subscribe, hang on a little bit longer. I think we're about 300 subs away from 9,000 subs. We've got a great prize for 9,000 subs. We're going to give away one of the classic McEwen retro shirts where Peter Beers used to score goals like you've just seen today as well. So that's a great prize here for 9K. Recommend it to family and friends. We're live as well. Jump in the comments. Let us know what you guys think. I'm going to rattle through what I think about the game and then we'll get your comments as well. So let's get stuck right into the lineup today then. So the lineup itself did throw a few of us out, actually, looking at the Newcastle United lineup. So Lewis Hall came in and started, which I think was good. He had a good midweek international break, a couple of assists for the 21s. So he came in place of Lloyd Kelly. But the big talking points really was Sean Longstaff continuing in midfield, despite Sandro Tonali starring for Italy in the international break. We're all craving Tonali starting. He looked the business for Italy. That sexy backheel assist. Got a goal disallowed. He was man of the match, I think, in at least one of the games he played. Once again, we'll come back to Premier League action and Sean Longstaff starts the game. We'll get into Sean in a minute, because a lot of people will be talking about his performance today and not in a very good light. Jacob Murphy again comes in the front three. I said before the game, what the fuck has Harvey Barnes got to do to get a start? Maybe it was what he did today. We'll get into that in a second as well. But that's how we started. And we started the game fairly positively. We were going at Wolves. We were trying it. We had the majority of the possession, but just wasn't really clicking. The final ball wasn't particularly great. And I've said this so many times, I'm going to say it again. We'll talk about it again on Monday, right? When you just play canny lads who are limited footballers like Jacob Murphy and Sean Longstaff, they need 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, where quality players need 1 or 2. And that's what slows down your attacks. And that's why you don't go in front in games, because you're not playing quality players. You've got players like Sandro Tonali, Kieran Trippier, Harvey Barnes, sitting on the bench, Joe Willock, sitting on the bench. And you're playing players like Longstaff and Murphy, and they're just not good enough to get you in front in games. Yeah, they work hard and they run all day long, but they're not good enough to get you in front in games. These two are the type of players you bring on when you're winning a game. You just want to keep it kind of steady, track teams, press teams, all that kind of stuff, but they're not good enough to boss games. And today was self-evident of that. We let Wolves back into the game. The goal is fucking horrendous, to be honest with you, from a Newcastle United's point of view. I thought loads of people were poor today, but this goal in particular was shocking. So Sean Longstaff, dillies and dallies on the edge of the box. He was terrible today, Sean Longstaff. I don't even need to look at his stats to know he was terrible today. He couldn't pass wind if he ate a tin of beans and necked a bottle of fucking Coke. That's how bad he was today. Every single pass he had was shit. It was off target. 3, 4, 5 touches when he only needed 1 or 2. He was dreadful. Tino Livramento looked lost at sea today as well. Looked appalling. His positional sense was dreadful. But the goal comes and Sean fucks around, pisses around with the ball, loses the ball. And for Wolves, it's just a straightforward attack. Bruno Guimaraes looks like he's towing a fucking caravan behind him. He's just come back from the lakes from a weekend with the family. And he just doesn't track his runner at all. Comes back into the box. Sean did track back, to be fair to him. But right past Bruno, who just looked like he was fucked completely. Looked like he just landed in arrivals in Newcastle Airport from Brazil. So then the ball comes across. Fabian Schär's cut out. Tino Livramento's nowhere to be seen. Bruno Guimaraes has given up fucking 30 yards ago. And it's a tap in for Lemina, and Wolves are 1-0 up. You're thinking, what the fuck is going on there? And then Wolves pressed and they pressed and they pressed. They had loads of the ball. They looked like the most lively team. They looked like they were going to get another goal in front. We go into half-time at 1-0. Newcastle have been shit overall. Terrible on the ball, terrible off the ball, really, really poor performance. And you're thinking, right, Eddie Howe, what are you going to do? And we're all thinking, he's not going to do now because he's Eddie Howe. He'll bring the same team out in the second half. He'll do fuck all. But he makes 3 subs. Now, surely before half-time, Isak gets a smack in the beak. And for some reason, they can't stop the bleeding in Isak's nose. I don't know what it is. He doesn't come on for the second half. And does he go ahead and bring on Asala, the centre forward with Sanderson? No, he doesn't. What was the fucking point in wasting 10 million quid on this kid where he's not going to get any game time? There's more chance of me coming on than this fucking kid, from Sheffield United. It was a pointless signing. Looks like something that Mitchell maybe did, one for the future. We need one for now when the only fit centre forward's got a broken fucking nose. So he makes 3 subs. And he brings on, we're screaming for these players anyway. Tonali comes on for Longstaff. Thank Christ. I mean, Tonali could have played with a fucking broken ankle on crutches and he would have done better than Longstaff today. He was terrible. And I like Sean. He's a really nice kid. And I always caveat it by saying that he's a really lovely lad, but he's a limited footballer and he should not be starting games over a £50 million Italian international. I don't care how fucking canny he is. And neither should Jacob Murphy over Harvey Barnes. But Harvey Barnes came on to come into the front three of Murphy, Gordon, who was now centre forward, and Barnes on the left-hand side. Tonali slatted in at the midfield. Instantly, we looked, and Willock came on as well for Joe Linton, who, again, that passed me by. Joe Linton was dog shit today. He lost the ball so many times. You know, I thought he was going to shoot a fucking flare up to try and find it in the dark. He was awful today, Joe Linton. He really was. The performances from Joe Linton outside that Southampton game have been dog shit in the games after. He's looked really, really poor. He had about a 10 or 12 minute spell today where he looked half decent. Outside of that, he's been shit, losing the ball, pissing around, putting us under pressure. Sorted out Joe Linton. Joe Willock's behind you. Tonali's behind you. You know, he's under pressure for his space. I love Joe Linton, and he's a beast when he's fit, but he's been shit in the last few games. So he is really, really close to losing his place, in my opinion. So Willock comes on, energy. Barnes comes on, energy, bit of quality. Will look a bit more lively. Will look a bit more sharp, probably for a 10 or 12 minute spell. And again, we let Wolves back into the game to start pressing, pushing, and pressing, pushing. You know, we're defending for our lives. Hall's getting caught out of position. Byrne again looks like he's just drank 17 pints and ate a kebab at half time. He's all over the fucking place. And then out of nowhere, the ball comes to the edge of the box. Fabian Schär with a thunder bastard shot, flicks up the top of Dawson, I think, who has got a worse barnet than me. So thanks for that, Craig Dawson. I felt like Fabio looking at your barnet. Maybe he played really well. He's a proper die-hard in the wall defender, is Dawson. It will throw back to the 80s. He looks like a fucking throwback to the 80s. So flicks off him and goes over the keeper, and we're 1-1. And you kind of believe it. Wolves fans must have been sick as a fucking chip, wondering what was going on. How are they not winning this game? So then, you know, the game's kind of swinging back and forth, and you know, if fucking Wolves look like they're probably going to get the goal, you know, they're attacking us. We haven't got a great deal of pressure really coming on. Trippier comes on and again just looks better quality. Tino goes off. Tino was dreadful today. Trippier looked better. He looked fitter. He looked sharp on the ball. Wanted to make things happen. He was screaming at players to get up. You know, and again, I think it just shows once again, you know, that Kieran Trippier maybe needs to be brought back into the side, not just because of the quality he has on the ball, but his leadership and his ability just to keep calm heads when everyone's losing it. You've got two very young, exciting, great potential fullbacks. Hall got caught out a lot today. He had cramp later on. My mate texted me, he's fucking 19. Why does he keep getting cramp? And Tino was poor again today, but Trippier looked good when he come on. So he whipped a good few crosses in. Byrne had a couple of decent headers. And then the moment of the game, really, and it's a sickener for Wolves. It's an absolute sickener. Harvey Barnes gets the ball. I think Willock pulls down to the left-hand side. There's a lot of that going on. And he cuts back in, gives it to Barnes, and he does this little shimmy, similar shimmy that he did against that West Ham when he scored that blinder, and he just fucking melts this shot into the top corner, top bins, absolute quality, different gravy. That's what you start a quality player for, Eddie Howe. That's what a quality player does for you. A canny lad doesn't do that. A quality player does that. And he went over and he gave it this to the fans. He drank it. He did the old bow and arrow thing. He was fucking brilliant, Harvey Barnes, just for that moment alone. He had a couple of little sighters before that. But this is what I kind of get my head around. And listen, I'm buzzing with a win. I'm going to put my comments in a minute. I'm buzzing with a win. I'm excited for the win. But that there, in that moment, said to me, Eddie Howe, for the love of fucking God, start Harvey Barnes. What if he'd done that in the first half? What if he'd done that and put us 1-0 or 2-0 up? It's a total different game altogether. You need to get your best players on the pitch. You can't have Kieran Trippier, Sandro Tonali, Harvey Barnes, even Joe Willock to an extent, sitting on the bench and starting Murphy and Longstaff. No fucking chance. Unless it's an FA Cup third round tie against, I don't know, Barnet or Stevenage Borough or something like that. These lads need to start the game. Get your best players on the park, get in front of a game, boss a game, and then make your changes. Don't wait and be reactive. You know, this has worked in Eddie Howe's favour. It's worked in Newcastle's favour. We're now sitting third in the Premier League, and I've got no idea how, because we've been shit most of the games that we've played. I feel for the Wolves fans today. I think they deserved that win, if not a point at the very least. And Newcastle have nicked it from a moment of quality, from a real quality player who shouldn't have been sat on the bench in the first place. We win 2-1. Pope pulls off a blinding save towards the end. The keeper's in it as well. Wolves were really lucky not to get the equaliser and come back into the game. But wow, breathe. Thank God for Harvey Barnes. Let's get stuck into some of the comments here as well, guys. I'm going to scroll back up to a few here. So we've got a few here. These were right early doors, to be fair. So here we go. I'm going to try and pull these all up here, guys. You've smashed a few of them in already. When did we start? Here we go. Right, I'm going to start from the half past here. Yeah. How about that save, Robert says, from Pope? Absolutely. It was absolutely class. Hello to you, George. Good to see you. Yeah, and Marcus says that Sandro definitely has to start as well. George has fucked off for his then. He's probably ate it by now, to be fair. Peter says, amazed we got the 3 points. We were ropey again today. 100%, Peter. A better team batters us today. We're 3 or 4-0 down before he even has a chance to make those subs today. Vince is getting what a goal from Barnes, what a save from Pope. Absolutely. That's the 2 moments of the game for me. Andrew says, another win in the bank. Unreal, Chris. The fact that we're playing shit and winning is good, but we shouldn't be in that position at all. Kev says, how has Barnes not started ahead of Murphy's hopeless? I totally agree. Ian says, let's go, Chris. Tell it as it is. Absolutely, mate. I will tell it as it is. That's what you get from Evermore. You don't get anyone pissing around and talking absolute bollocks about how these are canny lads, and they work hard for the team. They do work hard for the team, but they're limited players. Like George says, Longstaff and Murphy versus Tonali and Barnes, go and figure. Absolutely. Yeah, Peter says, get on. Absolutely, 100%, Peter. We're buzzing that we've got that win. And as you say, mate, Barnes again with another stunner. Absolutely brilliant. Sperth over Big English, he said, unfortunately, he wasn't able to watch the match, but so happy we're still unbeaten. It's so great that even though we're not playing well, we're getting results. Absolutely. But, we're relying on moments like that from Harvey Barnes to pull us out of the shit. We shouldn't be in the shit in the first place. We've got the lads on the bench who should be in the starting lineup to get us in front of games. Absolutely. As Ty says there, why is Longstaff started over Tonali? And I feel for Sean as well, Ty, because Sean's getting the shit here, and he shouldn't get shit because he's a good lad. He's a hard-working player. But when Eddie puts him in that position, he puts the focus on him. He did the same thing with Byrne last year at left back when Byrne was getting ripped to pieces. And Byrne's a top lad, and Byrne's a great professional, and he'll give everything for this club, and he bleeds black and white. But when he's getting rinsed by, bottom 16 team wingers week in, week out, you shouldn't play him left back. The penny finally dropped for Eddie Howe. Let's hope the penny is dropped now. And do not start Longstaff over Tonali in the next fucking game, mate, because my God, we might not get as lucky as that at all. Abacus says, winning ugly is our thing this season. Eddie, stop starting your favourites. Totally agree, mate. Totally agree. It's going to catch us out, mate. It really, really is. Trevor says, how are we doing it? Saw the team sheet wrong again by how outplayed, looked down and out, then out of nothing, Shaw worlded, and Barnes does what he does. Lobby Murphy should be nowhere near this side. I totally agree, mate. I just think that they're only playing because Eddie trusts them. And listen, they've earned that trust. They've worked their asses off. They've showed up in moments when we've needed them. But right now, we are not playing well, and we need the best players on the park to get us in front of games. We can't be afford to keep chasing shadows. Wolves, to be fair, them hit the post a couple of times today. I think Gordon was good today. Gordon was my man of the match today for the way he performed. I mean, you've got to give it to Barnes, I suppose, for the screamer. And he looked sharp when he come on. But overall, I think all of the players for the totality of the game, I'd say Gordon was about the only one who could hold his head up high. The rest of them, very, very poor. Hall was poor off the ball, decent on the ball, but really poor off the ball. Tino lost at sea. Joe Linton was poor. Bruno, dog shit today. I don't know what was going on with Bruno today. Awful today. He really, really was. Sher did well in moments, obviously scored the belter. Byrne looked like he was sluggish today as well. Everybody looked poor. Murphy, headless chicken for me. Headless chicken. Runs all day, but does fuck all. That's basically what Jacob Murphy says on the tin. If you picked up a tin of Jacob Murphy in the footballer supermarket, it would say that in the back. Runs all day, does fuck all. That's basically Jacob Murphy. But Eddie has fucking tins and tins of it in his shopping trolley. Get quality on the pitch. Quality does what it does there. Absolutely. I agree with you, Rob, as well. Willock, a baller as well. Willock was brilliant when he come on, I thought, today. Used the ball really well, showed that pace that he does. That bit where he dips on the line and goes, and got fouled a couple of times. Some terrible tackles by Wolves towards the end when they realised we were turning the heat up. Shocking one on Tonali. I'd have fucking nailed that fullback. I think Trippier did shortly after that as well. Viva Vendetta saying, chuff with the win, but by God, we have mega problems. Long shite wouldn't get a game of my son's under 18s. Barnes must start. If not, he wants Howe out. Tonali must start, he wants Howe out. I don't think it's time for Howe out yet, V, but he's putting pressure on himself by making these silly decisions, starting these players that really, really shouldn't start. Stephen says, no Mickey today. Absolutely no Mickey today, Stephen. He shite anyway, mate, to be honest with He's on the bench. I don't even know if he's on the bench. If I don't see Miggy Almiron for a long time, I'll count that quite a blessing, really, to be honest with you. He'd have done fuck all in this game. Ian saying, what a win. Was questioning the lineup. Ultimately, it ended up with a win, deservedly so. Whatever the choices are, we walked away 3 points. That's true, Ian, but a good team would punish us, mate. We have to remember that. We can't always pull ourselves out of shit, with blinders. From Harvey Barnes. Yeah, Vincent said Eels look like a proper smarmy git. I'm convinced he's to blame for the backroom issues. Do you know what? The look of those two when I'm on the TV, right? That little man inside of my head, he's very angry, wears a Rain Mac, smokes fags and shouts and swears all the time. He comes out on the rant videos. And I just looked at them two and I thought, fuck and off the 2 years. Couple of wasters, couple of useless twats, the pair of them. Unsettling the manager, not doing a fucking job properly, more interested in commercial deals and doing the moonwalk on the stack. Get and do your fucking job properly. Maybe we would have had more quality in that team today. You two looking on, you jammy bastards at Harvey Barnes saved your ass with a screamer like that. So, yeah, I'm not a fan of these two whatsoever. That's me not getting invited to the club open days. Oh, well, never mind. Fuck it. Got a comment there from Costa saying, what is Howe starting over Sandro? I'm not going to say that, mate. That's terrible, terrible, mate. I'm not calling him that either, Ty. That is harsh. We don't do that on this channel. That's a little step too far. It really, really is. But, yeah, I've got to admit, I wouldn't have started Longstaff over Tonali at all. I don't think Stevie Wonder would have started Longstaff over Tonali. This is the kind of questions you got to put to Eddie Howe, right? The Toon Review said this really, really well. Paul said this really, really well, right? Have a separate press conference with YouTubers and people like that and podcasters to ask them questions. I know there's some fucking weapons in the fan base who have channels and would ask fucking silly questions, but what the press ask them? Does he like Blur or Oasis? Are you having a bromance with Mitchell? I would want to fucking know. I'd want to say, Eddie, can I just ask the question that all the fans are looking to know? Sandro Tonali looked brilliant for Italy in the international break. What was your logic starting Sean Longstaff ahead of Sandro in that game against Wolves? I'd want to know what he's got to say, because if he says Sean trained really, really well, Sandro got back really late, he looked a bit fatigued, right, I'd say, okay, that's fine. I understand. Okay, I respect that decision anyhow. But the fucking journalists aren't asking that. They'll be asking what he likes better next, jelly beans or fucking buttons or something. That'll be next week's press conference. Utter bullshit. I totally agree with Paul. You'll get the fucking YouTubers and podcasters to ask questions. Obviously, I wouldn't swear unless Eddie wanted me to, of course, Eddie, and then I'll swear I speak for you, mate. Yeah, Abacus is saying exactly what I said. What is Sean Longstaff doing in training? I think he's making Eddie Howe a cup of tea with 2 sugars and a jammy dodger, mate, because that's all he's got to be doing, because he cannot be showing he's better than Sandro Tonali to be. Unbelievable. That decision was just absolutely horrendous. Comment there from Doug Hoare. Barnes has a very good scoring record against Midlands teams. He really, really does. But Harvey Barnes gets goals, man. He gets goals and he gets assists. I mean, what is that lad thinking? He scored goals pre-season, looks sharp, wants to make up for last season, gets dropped against Southampton, pissed off for that because Gordon looked way off of it. Comes back against Spurs and scores a fucking great goal. And he gets dropped for Jacob Murphy today. He's not been in an international break, Harvey Barnes. He's been training as well. You can't tell me he's not been smashing in goals in training. I'd want to know from the manager what justifies starting Murphy over Barnes. I mean, listen, the long story is we got the win today, so I'm ranting for no reason, but I'm ranting because I want to know the answers to the questions, because in the next game, maybe if he does this against Fulham, we don't get that goal and we lose that game. Certainly when we play against Manchester City, you want Barnes on there, you want Isak on there, you want Gordon on there. The front three, you want Sandro in midfield trying to boss it with Bruno and hopefully Joe Linton if he's got his arse in gear, or put Willock in the midfield. You don't want Sean Longstaff taking 1, 2, 3, 4 touches, Rodri nicking off him, slipping in Haaland and banging his fucking 26 goal in 4 games or whatever it is, because that's what will happen against Man City if he starts the canny lads over quality. Hopefully this is a wake-up call for Eddie Howe when he realises that you got to put your best players on the park if you want to win games. That's simple as that. Absolutely simple. Scott, nail on the head, man. Tonali's touches are world class. And this isn't even the dig at Sean Longstaff. Sean Longstaff is not as good of a footballer as Sandro Tonali. It's like saying I'm not as good looking as fucking Brad Pitt or Zac Efron. It's factually correct. I'm not offended by it. I know it. And fucking Sean Longstaff knows it. So that's why he takes 4, 5, 6 touches to do the same thing Sandro does in 1 or 2. So don't start the lad. It's unbelievable. Honestly, unbelievable. What's this saying? He's sat with the earbuds in. Oh, sorry, mate. I didn't know you had your kids with you. I should have warned you at the start, but I did just want to jump straight on and do it. And I'm a little bit knocked by that starting lineup, and I'm glad that we managed to pull ourselves out of Harvey Barnes managed to pull ourselves out of the hole. The Muddler, even you too, mate. Mark is in the background somewhere. I think someone just said Isaac's out for 6 months. I think that's been binned by a mark there. Ronnie Wood, good to see you, Ron. We all know that Barnes and Tonali should be on that pitch. What about Pope? He was better. He was better with his hands, but my word, I don't think Pope could kick his own arse if he tried. His feet are shocking, absolutely shocking. I don't understand it. I really, really don't. He's for a top quality keeper. Really, really needs to work on that feet. William, good to see you, bud. I'd be tempted to start Willock over J7. I agree. He opens up defenses. Maybe he can kick J7 up the arse. I'd drop Joe Linton for the next game. I think he's dreadful. He's been dreadful most of the games this season. I really, really do. And as Marcus remind you all, guys, smash the like button. There's 379 of you in there. Drop that like button. It really helps the channel grow. And apologies to any little kiddie winks who have learned 85 swears in the last 5 minutes or something like that. You're going to learn anyway in school. I've just accelerated you. Another comment there from Mr. Reactions. What an outstanding comeback. It really, really was. Ian says, Pope, Burn, need dropped. I don't know who you're going to put in goals, Ian, to be honest, because I don't fancy Dubravka. Certainly not Gillespie. Unless you want your Waters carried to the pitch. That's about the only good thing he can do. Graham saying, great 3 points and what a goal. I could watch that over and over again. Exactly, Graham. I hope the manager watches that over and over again. Do you know what I would do? I would sit him down like he sits the players down and makes them watch their performance. And I'd say, watch Jacob Murphy and watch Harvey Barnes. Watch the movement, Eddie, and watch the quality and watch the ability. And you tell me how that guy starts over that guy. That's what I'd want to know. Same with Sean Longstaff and Sandro Tonali. Never mind the players analysing their performances, Eddie. Analyse your own. Don't pick that fucking lineup again, mate, because we will get caught out next time. Lewis is saying, Willock look sharp. He did when he come on, be vital this season. He needs to stay fit, Lewis. He's such a good player. He's got that ability to just get us up the park. He really, really has. And he just needs to stay fit. When he got caught in that tackle, I just thought, oh, no, here we go again. But thankfully, he got up. We just need him to be kind of robust and, and stick into those challenges and get up again, because he really, really does struggle, when he gets a knock, doesn't he? Coming there from Costa saying, when Mourinho told Sir Bobby to use Pizzi instead of Ronaldo Nazario because he worked out, or Jose said, you want to be a nice guy, you want to win trophies. That's exactly it, Costas, yeah. And he's got a big decision to make. Does he want to be everybody's mate, or does he want to win trophies? Because if you want to win trophies, Eddie, you need to play those 3 lads who are sitting behind you today, and you need to get them on the pitch. Billy says, good to see Billy. He was great on the commentary. I did watch his halftime, Billy. Great job, mate. By hook or by crook, we're keeping up the points. Needs to pick his best 11. Totally agree, Billy, to get through and maybe give us a focal point up front. We lack one. Do you know, I said this to Mark the other day, Billy, watching Chris Wood against Liverpool. And I started to think, I'd rather have Chris Wood, than a Salah. At least he's a focal point, holds the ball up and brings others into play. I know he wasn't great, but I mean, Christ, he didn't do that bad of a job for him. Maybe we could have done with getting a player like that. We could have got an old player like that. Maybe towards the end of his career could have been an option. Why on earth he's persevered with Callum Wilson? Listen, outside of being ridiculously good looking and can score goals when he's fit, Wilson is made of glass. He should be on the shelf in collectibles, not on the fucking Newcastle United roster, because he's fragile. You breathe on him and he cracks. And I just think we're going to live to regret that. He obviously doesn't feel as Salah's ready, because Isak goes off and he sticks Gordon through the middle. Gordon looks sharp, but he's not a centre forward. Again, we're back in that same position with a massive hole in the squad. I don't know who's to blame. Is that Howe? Is that them? Who knows? Maybe it's collective. But if Salah's not ready, why the fuck did we drop 10 million quid in him when you could have got another player probably for an extra 2 or 3 million quid? I agree with you, Mr. Reactions. Bruno was shocking today, but he's more or less undroppable, isn't he, really? In that midfield, he's kind of the only one who really keeps his place, I think, above everybody else. Dean saying 2 good goals, good win, and we finally click. We'll be frightened. We will be, but we can't leave it too late. Maybe we'll click against City, and look, we'll probably play them off the park and win 3-0, something like that. And we'll all be thinking, fucking hell, where'd that come from? Derek saying, Howe wants to put the lottery on. He's so lucky. He really, really is. Maybe he's found like a gold coin at the end of a rainbow or something, Derek, because he is definitely using up all of his good luck, I must admit. As Ian saying, Chris, can me and Roger join the band? Is that the Ranters? We'll call ourselves the Ranters, I think, mate. Comment there from Benja. Yeah, Tonali must start. There's no doubt about it at all. Absolutely no doubt about it. I mean, I don't understand why on earth he didn't start. I kind of get my head around it. Gary saying, Gordon played 2 games and straight in the team. Sandro exactly the same, put on the bench. I know, figure it out. I just don't understand it. I don't understand what he's thinking. I really don't. I mean, it's so good that we won that game, But, you know, it could have been the other way. Absolutely at all. I can see Luke Bailey losing his mind in the comments. It's called being, you know, objective, Luke. You know, you can't just be, you know, buzzing that you won all the time. You're okay to say that things weren't particularly great, mate. So, you know, don't lose your fucking mind. Dan Robinson saying, evening, Harvey Barnes wanted to go. Thanks for your super chat, Dan. Absolutely, mate. That's what Harvey Barnes does. That's why he should be starting. You know what I'm saying? Fanny Granny, it pisses me off when people moan about how, considering we're third. Oh, that's unfortunate, Fanny Granny. But it is the way it is. You've got a great name there, to be fair. Yeah, you know, yes, we won, but you know, it could have went the other way. That's what you got to say. You know, what happens in a Fulham game if it does go the other way? I'm just saying, why is he going to start in the best players? I'm happy that we won. You know, and his substitutions have changed the game. So yes, on the surface, you can say the manager's done really well, but his luck might run out soon. So he needs to play the best lineup. As Liam says, their decisions like that lineup is why we won't win anything under Howe. You know, and he's right to say that as well. And you're right to say that as well. You know, in terms of that, you can be pissed off. We are third, but you know, we won't be third. You know, for the next couple of games if people win games. So stop trusting the process and swigging the Kool-Aid. It's okay to say that we're being shit. We have been shit. We're still winning games. Chris, good name. Tell me what top team starts the actual best team. They also have good players on the bench. Yeah, mate, we are not Man City, Chris. Give your head a fucking wobble, mate. Man City can do that. They can put Grealish on the bench and play somebody else. We can't put Harvey Barnes on the bench and play Jacob fucking Murphy, mate. That's ridiculous. You know, what on earth? That's like having Margot Robbie sitting in the fucking house and then putting Susan Boyle out on the bar to get fucking tips for the lads. Give your head a wobble, mate. We're not Manchester City. We have got a finite quality amount in this squad, and they need to play games for us to get in front of games. I don't understand how you can't get that through your head unless you've been snorting Kool-Aid as well as drinking it, mate. Honestly, drives me fucking mad. Baron saying a lot of whinging considering we're third and still. Oh, fucking hell, honestly. I'm not even going to bother commenting on that, Baron. You trust the process, Kool-Aid swigging motherfuckers. It's okay to be pissed off with the fact that he started the wrong team. Yes, we won the game, but stop getting your knickers on. I'm not reading any more of these trust the process Kool-Aid nonsense comments out. If you want to make a fair point, make a fair point, but stop talking shit. You know, it's okay to say he picked the wrong team and he got away with one. He did get away with one. That's factually correct. David said, why did Joe Linton go off? Because he was shit, Dave. That's why he went off, basically. That's simple as that, mate, really. So I'm just coming towards the end of the comments there. What's that? Not evermore, Chris. You are an idiot. He is an idiot, mate. He is an idiot. But he's entitled to his opinion. But his opinion is very, very wrong, to be honest with you. I can't say any more than that. Yeah, sorry, would-be farmer. She did have skills. She could sing the phone book, to be fair to her. But you wouldn't want to wake up first thing in the morning next to her, mate. That's as simple as that. So that's me done, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. I knew it was going to be a quick one. I'm just kind of blasting this all off. Buzzing we got the win, but big questions about the performance overall. Big questions about the selection. Me and Mark will talk a little bit more about it on Monday night. Warning to you, trust the process. Bedwetters, you might not want to tune in for that one. You might just piss your pants that somebody's actually questioning the manager for once, where you guys think he can walk on water all of the time. He's got away with one today. That's what it is. We got the win. Feel sorry for Wolves. Lovely little last-minute super chat there by Crypto Rambo. Thank you so much, Crypto Rambo, for that. Guys, I've already said, yeah, Morgan Gibbs-White is better than Bruno. Ooh, that's controversial. But didn't want it. Gibbs-White is quick, hard work, and more skilled. I do like Gibbs-White, I must admit, mate. But thank you for that super chat. I had to squeeze you in towards the end, guys. That's me done. Have a belter morning, afternoon, evening, whatever you're doing. Hopefully, we'll see you on Evermore on Monday night. Keep it Evermore, guys. Like the video, subscribe. We'll catch you later. Cheers.